Welcome to the Royal Read. So glad you decided to come by, see what I'm reading on today. Well, today I am reading on Charles and Camilla continued fallout from that performance they gave at D-Day in France. The French is dragging them, and I am here for it. I can't tell you how much I am here for it. They are dragging them. And we're also going to talk about Kate's letter to the Irish Guard. She is a colonel. She is the colonel of the Irish Guard. So her letter to them, because she is a no-show to this priest, trooping of the color, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Event that they have prior to the Trooping of the Color. So she was a no-show, and so she wrote a letter to them. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to unpack that. We're also going to talk about the UK media's obsession with Harry and Meghan's marriage and why they are just wishing and hoping and dreaming and wanting the marriage to fail. But Harry and Meghan keep holding on tight, and I love it. I love it. And we're also gonna just stick our toe in a little bit into Princess Diana's brother, the Earl Spencer, Charles Spencer. Uh, he's the Earl Spencer, and he is the Earl of I don't even know how you pronounce it because Altro, I think that's the name of the state, Althorp. That's where Princess Diana is buried, on an island, a little island out there in Althorp. If I was Harry and Meghan, that's where I would want to be. I would want to be with Diana. I wouldn't want to be with all those kings and queens and well, see, they had to cremate not Margaret. I'm already getting, I'm already making Anne dead. I mean, Princess Margaret. They had to cremate her in order to fit her in the vault because it's the queen. Well, it's the king, uh, the Queen Elizabeth's father, and her mother, and then it's Queen Elizabeth, then it's Philip, and then it's Margaret. It wasn't no room for Margaret. They cremated Margaret. It's everybody else's bodies in there. Margaret gets ashes. She gets second place uh, into eternity. Isn't that something? I mean, you don't even get your body has to be burned up in order for it to be room for you to fit in with the rest of your family. I mean, they didn't do anything but disrespect poor little Margaret. Oh my God. This is the life of despair. They do everything that they can to disparage, to tear down, to humiliate, to use, to throw under the bus, to everything is despair. Everything is despair. And poor little Margaret is a spare to eternity because her father, the king's body, is there. Her mother, the queen's body, is there. The queen mother. Queen Elizabeth's body is there. Prince Philip's body is there. But Margaret has ashes. Okay, to the end. But I'm going to speak a little bit on him. The Earl Spencer, he's getting a divorce after 13 years of marriage. This is his third divorce, his third marriage. So he got some issues. And so that's what we're going to be reading on today. That is exactly what we're going to be reading on today. Well, let's get started. Let's start with Charles Camilla. Uh, Charles, Camilla, what is this? Come showing up on my computer. Hold on. Oh, a weather update. No, thank you. But Charles and Camilla's performance at the D-Day Memorial didn't go down so well. I mean, it kind of got stuck in the French's throat. They couldn't swallow the bull that they were peddling over there. Crying, but Camilla was crying, and Charles was crying, and Edward even cried. William was the only one that didn't cry, and I'm sure the only reason he didn't cry, wasn't crying is because he didn't get the memo. Because the memo was definitely sent. Okay, we're gonna act like we human beings up in this place. We're gonna act human. And so we don't who if they tell us any kind of story about their landing on the beach of Normandy or whatever, and I am not disrespecting the soldiers, don't get me wrong, because I clearly respect what they did, because without them doing what they did, I would not be here and have the freedom to do what I'm doing. So all respect to the soldiers, but Charles and Camilla and William and Edward and Sophie are the ones that were so disrespectful. Charles showed up with a chest full of medals that his mama had gave him, or he had gave himself. He had the nerve to do that. And Secretary Austin, our secretary, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, he has a chest full of medals that he earned, but he did not wear them. He did not wear them out of respect for the people that he came there to lift up, to to memorialize. He did it out of respect. So, because he knew it wasn't about him. It was about the long survivors of the military men who are here with us, because this, I think it's the 80th year anniversary. So you can imagine how old the people are that stormed the beaches of Normandy. And it was a few there. It's still a few alive. And Charles shows up with all these medals, and William shows up with a whole line of medals that the Queen gave him for showing up to her jubilee. Okay, her jubilees. And so did Edward. Edward showed up with his medals for the jubilees, because we know Edward hadn't earned a medal because he flunked out after 3 months at the academy. And so Charles showed up in full regalia, the suit, the golden braids that goes around under his arm, and all of the medals in front of these people who earned their medals. He did that. He did that. And then him and Camilla had the nerve to sit there and cry because one of the veterans told them a harrowing story. But yet and still, you didn't die. You didn't cry when your mom died. You didn't cry when your dad died. Come on now. And we so supposed to believe that you crying now, you wiping a tear? Come on. Come on now. And Camilla sitting there crying, just watering up. I bet she practiced that in the mirror. She probably was under her she was probably pinching herself so hard so she could get a tear going. I bet you if you pan the camera down, you would see her twisting her, just twisting her skin like this, pinching herself so she could squeeze out that, had those watery eyes because it clearly was performative. Because the queen passed away, and it was so many dry eyes. Megan and Edward was the only two that I saw cried. And Camilla and Kate could not wait. The queen hadn't blew out her last breath, and they were in her jury box. It was all in the queen's jury, all of them, except Megan. Megan wore the tiny pearl earrings that the queen had gave her. Could Megan afford and had gotten these elaborate earrings and whatnot and stuff like that to compete with them? No, she did not. She wore the earrings that the queen gave her because it meant something to her. These people, and Sophie had a brooch. They all had brooches on. I guess they wanted to show Meg and Lisa, we got all the jewelry, and we're not going to share with you or let you wear anything that the queen, but everybody else gonna wear something of the queen's. Yeah, they pulled that mean girl trick. They did. So you can miss me with Camilla and Kate. Do I feel bad about Kate? Her illness and stuff. Do I wish her a full recovery? I do. But I also wish that she learned something from it. She learns to be a better person. Because what is the use of having to go through something so horrible, so difficult, and not learn anything from it? I hope she learns to be a better person because prior to her cancer, she was not a good person. She was not. I don't know what kind of person she is now, but I hope when she comes out of her cancer journey, and I do hope that she comes out on the other end of her cancer journey, that she be a better person. Okay. But you can miss me with Camilla and Kate and Sophie, and Camilla being sentimental, and come on, come on. And then on top of that, what the French is really dragging Camilla about is when she acted as if she was too good to hold the First Lady of France's hand at the memorial when they were placing flowers. Camilla recoiled from Brigitte, and her was laying flowers, and Brigitte was trying to help her to make sure that flowers stand up because she cared that it was right. So she wanted to make sure the flowers were right out of respect for the people that they were trying to honor here. Camilla just went up there and threw hers down. She didn't care if they were standing up, sitting down, or swirling around. She didn't care. It was all about, the performance of it. And when Brigitte got up, she reached for Camilla's hand to have a moment. I had to have a moment. And what do Camilla do? She recoils. She asks if that the first lady of France has cooties. She does. It's as if she is middle school and she thinks somebody has cooties. That's what Camilla did. And the French are dragging her. And I can tell you, I am here for it. I am here for it. Anytime that anybody wants to drag Camilla, I'm here for it. I am here for it because I am a Diana stan to the end. And if it was Queen Diana, she would have reached over and held Brigitte's hand, and they would have stood there and had that moment, and a sincere moment, because Diana was a caring person, and Brigitte Macron seems like she is a legitimate caring person. But Camilla cares nothing about nobody except Camilla. and what bed she climbing out of, with from what man. Because in Camilla's heyday, Camilla would crawl out of a bed and would not know what the man, the man that was in it, because she was crawling out of her bed with her husband into Charles's bed, and then she would get out of Charles' bed and go crawl into Ann's husband's bed. Then she'll do it all over again. Next day she'll do it all over again. That's the queen. That's the queen of the United Kingdom. Yeah, that's who she is. And like I said, anytime that anybody is up for a dragon of Camilla Shant, I think that's her maiden name, I am up for it. Because one thing I love is Dragon Camilla. I love it. I love it. Oh, moving on to Kate. Kate wrote a letter to the Irish Guard because they had a pre-trooping of the color event. And of course, she was a no-show because she's missing. And people on Twitter, and what they don't seem to understand, that's the way it was when they put that picture out. People are gonna come for everything that they do. They are trusted as much as North Korea. Everything that North Korea says, you know, the our CIA and our government has to verify it. Okay, because nobody believes nothing they say, because all they do is serve up propaganda and lies. And that's pretty much the way Kensington Palace is these days. Propaganda and lies. That's what they that's what they pretty much deal in. That's what they peddle. And so they put out a letter saying that Kate herself wrote it, signed her name to it. But it was something very suspicious about it because, of course, like I say, they don't understand. I don't know if it was squatties, because squatties are like, we're like, not me, because I'm a squatty, but I'm not one of the squatties who be finding stuff and examining stuff, or they like private detectives. They are like CIA agents. Scotland Yard. We got some squatties who gonna seek out and find the truth in everything, and any kind of anything that looks suspicious or off centered, they are going to find it. So I think, squatties are awesome, awesome. And so they found in the letter that Kate wrote to the Irish Guard American verbiage, American spelling. They found that. Why would Kate be using American verbiage and American way of spelling certain words? Why would she do that? I would think the reason she would do that because she didn't write the letter. She didn't write it. Um, the head of her American PR team is American. His last name is Thompson. I can't think of his first name right now because he's so forgettable, you know, little nerdy guy. I can't say it about glasses because I wear glasses. But yeah. And also, don't forget Jason Knopf. He's from Texas. So they probably got together, wrote this letter, never thinking that it's words and phrases, the different it's a difference in the way people from the UK and the people from the US, you know, verbalize different things. spell differently. The same word, but they spell it differently. Yeah. And so they signed that letter and said that Kate did it. But people was like giving it the side eye. Like everything that comes from Kensington Palace now, everything that comes from that palace is shady. It is shady, it's shifty, it's suspect, it is not to be believed. I don't know anything that has ever come has come from it since I've been paying attention, and I only been paying attention since Megan joined that family. But it's just shady, it's shifty, it's lying, is deceptive on the right on the level with North Korea. And it does not disappoint at all, does it? It does not disappoint. If you look to Kensington Palace to be shifty, what does it do? It comes out with a shifty letter. If you expect Kensington Palace to deal in propaganda, what does it do? It comes out with that Frankenstein picture of Kate with all them different parts put together that they put out for Mother's Day. If you expect them to be deceptive, they put out a farm market video of a woman who is about 28 years old and said that's Kate bouncing around, carrying heavy packages and bouncing around like she's on sniffing Adderall. They never disappoint. They never disappoint. They have mediocrity down to an art form, and I love it for them. It's an art form. Nobody do nobody does mediocre like Kensington Palace. Nobody. And I love that for them. I love it for us because I enjoy watching it. And so the latest thing is the letter. The letter. And they always are caught flat footed. They be thinking, okay, this is a great letter. We'll put it out. Da 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 da. And they put it out, and the squatties and the internet, social media just dismember it, just take it apart, just dissect it, and prove it to be propaganda, lies, misdeception. I mean, deception. Yeah. And that's exactly what they did. Like I say, they never did a point. They never disappoint. Never. They do mediocre like nobody else does mediocre, and I love it. I love it. Oh, it makes me cackle. It makes me cackle. All right, let's move on to our final. Well, no, 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 it's not our final one because we're gonna cover Charles Spencer. But the next one we're going to talk about is how the British media just wants Harry and Meghan to get a divorce so bad. They just cannot. I mean, they just want to make it happen. I think it was what, maybe a year ago, they had this whole thing about Harry and Meghan is getting divorced. Harry's living in a hotel in LA and da 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 da. Until Nacho had to come out with two little letters, BS, and shut it down. But they was on a roll. Australia, Sky News, all of them, that's just every day. Harry and Meghan is getting a divorce because they want it so bad and it never would happen. So they said, well, we'll create it. We want to do that story so bad that we'll just make it up. you know, and that's what they did. And now it's little rumblings of the same thing. See, Harry and Meghan is quiet as church mice right now. They're busy. Meghan is probably busy doing her, getting her products together to go on her website. She's probably filming her TV show, her cooking show, and um, and just booked and busy. But it's out of the public eye. And Harry probably is busy. He has Invictus stuff. He has a regular, proper job with Better Up. I think he does speeches too. And what else and then he has Cinnabale, he has Travelers, he has another one with the about the internet. I can't think of it, but he has that project, and they are booked and busy, but it's all behind the scene, and these people don't have anything to write about, anything to talk about. So what do the British media do when Harry and Meghan is quiet as mice and serving them dust? They make stuff up. They make stuff up. And who is the number one person who makes stuff up? Angela Levin. She reaches up her butt, pulled out some crap, and called it news. Harry and Meghan news. I can't even. I hadn't even went to see what's up with her lately. Ugh. But anyway, but this guy on Talk, because they call it Talk now because it's not on TV. It's on YouTube right here with me. Uh, I forgot it. Well, see, I always be saying because they are not important to me. They are not important to me. But it's the one that screams all the time and lies all the time and spews so much hate all the time. It's quiet little chirpings that the marriage is in trouble. The marriage is in trouble. They done started that again. And Harry and Meghan just keeps on ticking along. And it frustrates them. They are mad about that because they wanted to do that story. They really wanted to do that story. And I remember when Harry and Meghan first left, they had these cartoons out. They had one with Harry working at McDonald's, asking somebody for their order because they wanted them to go broke. They wanted him to not have any kind of success and be shunned by Hollywood and shunned by everybody. And they wanted Meghan to divorce Harry and Harry to come back broke and divorced. That is the story they wanted to do. But that is not the story they're getting. And that's why they so pissed about it. And now they done started the little chirp, 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 and they having problems. They gonna get a divorce because they want it so bad. They want it so bad. And another little cartoon they had with Harry and Meghan standing outside of Buckingham Palace. Meghan has this, I mean, all these old clothes on and a blanket, and Harry is asking one of the guards if he could borrow some money. See, they wanted them to be broke, and they wanted them to be totally disgraced, so they could so Harry could come back, be under William and Charles' thumb financially and do all the heavy lifting for them while they sit back, live in the big palaces and all of that, and throw Harry out the crumbs. I bet Harry's Montecito mansion makes William balls hurt. I bet it does. Because he don't want Harry to have anything. It doesn't matter how much he has. What matters is how much Harry has. And what a miserable life. Yeah. And that's why he gave, I bet if we could have a little peek into his life with Kate prior to her getting sick, I bet Kate went through it because she is not Megan. She's not smart. She's not innovative. She's not stylish like Megan is. Now, Kate is stylish, but not like Megan. And Megan came there and changed everything, just like Diana came and changed everything. Kate came in there and nobody really noticed that she came. And William just she knew William wanted her to be like Megan, and so she started dressing like a cosplaying and wearing a hair split, bust down the middle, all of that. Kate started all of that. I mean, it's some outfits that is spooky the way she was cosplaying Megan. It was a single white female. It was on single white female level. And if you know that movie, you know that movie. Yeah, it was on that level. But that's why they want Harry to get a divorce. They want him to come back so he can be under the thumb. So they can be able to use him as tabloid fodder, and use and abuse him to the point where he's in a wheelchair like Margaret was with a stroke, and he won't even be able to be buried with the rest of them. He'll have to be cremated like Margaret. Just disrespect to the end. That's what they wanted for Harry. And Margaret, unlike Harry, did it. She did it because she wanted to remain in that circle. She wanted to maintain her status. But Harry says, deuces. Megan said, I'm taking my husband, I'm taking my baby, and I'm out. See ya. And that's another thing that hurt their feelings. And it really hurt William. It really hurt him. But anyway, I'm gonna say this, and the reason it hurt him is because, see, he thought Megan was gonna leave with the baby, but he thought Harry was gonna be like Margaret and stay for the status and the security. But Harry said, "Listen, I'm gonna take my chances with my wife and with my baby, and I'm out of here with her." And William, talking about in Harry's book, William saying, "No, I don't know why you left. I don't know why you left." Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I believe you do know why he left because it keeps you up every night. I bet William is counting the tiles in the ceiling every night because he's so angry and upset that Harry has the life that he wants. He has the woman that he wants. He has the freedom that he wants. Yep. Okay, I'm going to take a quick minute and talk about Charles Spencer. Um, the Earl Spencer, he is getting a divorce. This is his third marriage. Her name is Karen Gordon, and she's Canadian. And they've been married for 13 years, and now they are divorcing. He said he wishes her well, and that he's gonna take this time in his life um, to mend and to spend time with his children and his grandchildren. He has a lot of mending there to do, so he's gonna do that. Which I said, okay, okay, you know. But he has a lot of childhood trauma. Everybody aspire to be in the high escalante. The highest of the high. Listen, one thing about me, I'm gonna screw some words up. If you're gonna be a part of my tribe, you're gonna have to understand. You're gonna have to understand that the highest escalante of society is trauma because they take their. I think he said he was 7 years old and they shipped him off to boarding schools. A 7-year-old baby. You know, you ain't had your baby but 7 years, and you're gonna send them and let them be raised by somebody else. This is the way they roll over there in those circles. And he was abused, sexually abused, physically abused. And he has a lot of trauma from that. And this has caused him, problems with his, relationships with his children, relationships with his significant others, just relationships, period. So all I can say to that is Godspeed. I really hope he finds some healing. He said he's in therapy, and I just pray that he finds some healing. All right, y'all. That is the Royal Read for today. I hope you enjoyed it and you will return and come back and see what I'm reading on next time. All right. Bye, y'all.